Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has announced the country's biggest deployment of troops and soldiers in peacetime to join the recovery operation in the Valencia region. 211 people are known to have died in flash flooding and landslides earlier this week, and many are still missing. Mark Lowen reports from Valencia.
Wading into the unknown, an abyss of horror that rescuers believe still hides many. With every hour, the chance of a miracle fades further. In garages and underground car parks, they fear more bodies will be found, trapped as the floodwaters rose. Search dogs and mountain rescue teams scour the landscape for the missing. From high above the flooded terrain, they are winched down to comb just one of the mangled cars. Valencia's suburbs are scenes of carnage, and the authorities are overwhelmed. So the Prime Minister has announced 10,000 more troops and police to join the relief effort. Entire neighbourhoods are still caked in mud, the streets stricken with the detritus of lives. Legions of locals do what they can to clear, but it's barely scratching the surface. Outside one damaged home, we met Pablo. On the night of the floods, he rescued some elderly residents of a nearby retirement home and retrieved those that didn't make it.
And it's been destroyed?
Yes. He takes me to the spot where the pensioners lived happily until Tuesday.
We went inside and we found them inside, down the fridge, down the sofas.
Now when you look over there?
I can't. Yesterday I tried with my brother to go there and see, but I couldn't. It's very difficult.
And now a flood of solidarity, the volunteer effort increasing by the day. They queued all morning in central Valencia to take supplies to the affected areas.
We have very close to us, and they have lost their houses and their cars, and it's all material, and we know people that have lost families, and that is a disaster, really.
Well, the last of the buses are being loaded up to head to the worst affected areas. Organisers believe that some 15,000 people have shown up here today, an outpouring of emotion filling the vacuum that many feel has been left by the authorities.
Disaster has brought Spaniards together, critical of their politicians, determined to help out, a spirit of unity to fight national trauma.
Amidst the darkness, one ray of light. A woman has been found alive after being trapped in her car for 3 days. Jane, Spain's Prime Minister, has acknowledged the depth of public anger here over the lack of warning before the floods and the hesitant response from the authorities, but said that lessons would be learned. But as the Mediterranean continues to warm, Spain will remain extremely susceptible to flash flooding. And as our climate changes, perhaps all of this will be the deadly lesson for us all.
Another 10,000 rescuers are being sent to areas of Spain ravaged by this week's flooding. But there's been criticism of the government response to the disaster, which is now known to have killed 211 people. And it's feared more bodies could yet be found, as Andy Dickinson reports.
The search for survivors moves underground, basements and car parks submerged, hopes dimming. More than 200 have died in Spain's deadliest natural disaster in living memory. Many more are missing. Some, like Jason Was from Yorkshire, counting themselves lucky to be alive.
All of a sudden, in front of us, the water started coming towards us. It was bringing cars, petrol pumps, anything it could carry, it was bringing down. So we evacuated vehicles and climbed over the central reservation with about, I think it was about 150 people altogether that were stranded. It was scary.
Spain's Prime Minister now ordering 10,000 extra troops and police to Valencia, following criticism at the speed of response and the lack of warnings.
The situation we are experiencing is tragic. It's dramatic. We are almost certainly talking about the most serious flooding that our continent has seen so far this century. I'm aware that the response that is being given is not enough. I know that we have to do better and that we have to give our all. but I also know that we have to do it together.
Answering the call, thousands march, motorways closed to help in the worst affected areas. Rescue dogs being used to help find the missing and the dead. Weather warnings remain in force tonight, another issued for the Balearic Islands. Scientists warning the climate crisis contributed to the flood's severity. Andy Dickinson, ITV News.